That's it. Let's do it. Okay, see, whenever we are doing any testing, right? So it might be a mobile, it might be a web, especially web, you can say. So we
Huh?
have information gathering. If you see the, what our VAPT document, the one which I
Hmm?
shared on our official laptop.
Hmm?
So information gathering, there are two types. One is a passive, another one is active. Okay, passive and active. So in the
Yeah.
passive, what kind of information we collect means whatever information about a particular application or company is available on the internet. Further, we use search engines. So already I shared the Google queries in the VAPT document. Okay, and
Yeah.
we use websites. Okay, and these kind of things. We use some tools, something like no OSN kind of technology, you can say. Okay. Now you might be asking, Kishore, this is fine, but what kind of information we collect? We collect the information about the IP and the IP range. Okay. Files, different files like PDF, Excel, okay, and etc. Doc and etc. All different. Then we collect subdomain information. So you know what is subdomain?
Yeah.
Okay. Say we have say MSN, right? We have something like www.microsoft.com. The subdomain is something you might find something like
Mm.
mail.microsoft.com, these kind of things. Or you
Huh.
can say something like say blog, these kind of subdomain information. Okay. Then we collect
Okay.
for hosting details. This includes virtual hosting as well.
Okay.
Okay. Then we look for the tech stack. Okay, tech stack in the
Huh.
sense like the operating system or server operating system, you can say.
Huh.
Front end applications, front end apps used to develop the front end of the application. Back end tech, database information. Okay, then any kind of say any kind of security devices implemented. Security in sense, when I say security, just think about the web application firewall.
Google application.
No, web application firewall.
Okay, then I heard Google application. That's why I asked.
No, no, web application. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then we look for any what is the load balance information.
Okay.
Okay, and what
Okay.
else we look yeah, and other information, you can say, just etc. Because there's never we cannot end anything, like the list will go on. Simple.
Huh.
Okay, then we
Huh.
need to check for the authentication type implemented. So you might be asking, Kishore, how can I check this particular authentication type? Okay,
Huh.
so let me take a small example. Your Google, right?
Huh.
So if you create a Gmail
Hmm.
account, more precisely, okay, when you give your username and password, it will log you in, isn't it?
Huh. Yeah.
So that means there's a kind of basic authentication, you can say, just username and
Huh.
password. So
Oh,
now, always is a suggestion like you need to implement a two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So two-factor authentication is the one which I implement on my accounts. Like, whenever I try to log into your Google, I'll get a code on my mobile phone through SMS, or something will pop up on my mobile phone. I need to click on that, then it will allow me to log in. Okay.
Okay.
And multi-factor authentication. That means more than two types of authentication they have employed. So something like once I log into my bank account, right, it will send me a OTP on my mobile phone. Once I give the OTP, not that you can say first I will give my username and password. Then
Mm.
it will ask me some secret question. Answer the secret question. I'll give the secret question answer. Then it will send me a OTP on my mobile phone. So that means we are implementing three types of authentication. Now the catch is, hey Nankisho, can't we give username one, username two, user three? No. So again, authentication different, it's a big domain. Again, we have different types of authentication. One is username and password, then we have biometrics, we have OTPs, these kind of things. Okay.
Okay.
So again, this is a different story, and if you want, I'll share the video, and we can go through that. So for our scenario, we'll say basic one. So
Okay.
that means just a username
Okay.
and password.
Okay.
Okay, and we have MFA, multi-factor authentication, something like
Huh.
basic or plus OTP, you can say, just simple.
Huh.
Okay,
Huh.
and then we have something like no single sign-on. Okay, single sign-on means this is mostly used in the companies. So here we got something like say I work for a company called Deloitte. I used to. Okay, so
Mm.
once I log into my laptop by providing the domain, active domain user account and password. So once I log into my personal laptop, the sorry Deloitte laptop, I am able to access any of the Deloitte sites. That means only once I have to authenticate myself through Active Directory, and I have the privilege to access any of the internal sites. Okay,
Yeah.
and here we have one more thing called OpenAuth. This is something like if you try to log into Evernote, something, let me show you the Evernote.
So,
Evernote. Have you used Evernote anytime?
no, no, ever not, never.
Okay. Just like Microsoft OneNote, you can take. So can you see here? I can log into
Huh.
Evernote using my
Huh.
Google as well as with Apple. This is nothing but OAuth. Okay. So that
Okay.
means other party will authenticate on us, like on our behalf. So for example, here you need to sign in with your username, Google username and password, and Google will take care of your authentication.
Okay.
And again, if multi-factor authentication is implemented under Google, then again Google will follow the multi-factor authentication process. Then it will
Mm.
redirect to Evernote.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what else we have? A basic MFA, single sign-on, OAuth. So we need to know these kind of things as well. Yeah, we have one more thing else. Federation access. Okay. Now, what is federation access? Again, guys, Pallavi, we won't
Mm.
be taking our company name. Okay, we'll be using a dummy company. Okay,
I will be using.
some XYZ company.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so federation access. Let me use my old company, Deloitte. Okay, so in
Mm.
my Deloitte, what we used to do is once we log into Deloitte laptop, okay, and Deloitte do have tie-ups with LinkedIn Learning as well as Udemy, okay, but LinkedIn
Okay.
Learning and Udemy, they are different companies. They are not owned by Deloitte. But what happens
Okay.
is only Deloitte authentication will be replicated, kind of things on the Udemy, and whatever you will be logging into Udemy automatically.
Okay.
So this is nothing but federation access here. The important thing which really plays a role is your username. We use
Okay.
SAML. Is again kind of a different kind of technology, but we need to identify what kind of authentication they are using.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what else we have? We have encryption. Encryption. So you might be asking me, hey Nankisho, what is this encryption? See, when you are using, right, when you are trying to send your username and password to the backend server, once you log
Mm.
into the Gmail, Okay,
Mm,
you
mm.
need to say what kind of encryption is employed to encrypt your username and password. So mostly they
Okay.
on the internet they use this kind of encryptions, say base 64 thing, base 64, and they use different kind of encryption. But I'm just giving an example, base 64.
Okay.
Okay, and if
Yeah.
those people use base 64, then it is very easy to crack the base 64.
Okay.
Okay, then we have this SSL information, SSL certificate info. What kind of certificate they have used? I know do we, though the certificate is very strong, they have implement. If they're not implemented in a proper way, then there's a big security gap. Okay,
Okay.
then what kind of security headers they are using.
Okay.
So security headers are something like though there are many security headers, but
Mm.
always as a security person, I recommend 5 security headers to a developer. For example, in my previous organization, one of the developer approaches me. He said like hey Nankishore, I just want to implement security headers. Can you please help me out, suggesting 5 security or some security headers. I said the best thing is just implement these 5 security headers. Now you might be asking me, hey Nankishore, what is the role of a security header in a web application or in security? So let me put it this way, right? Everyone is not a security expert, isn't it?
Yeah.
So before that, let me talk about the browsers. So see, majority, if you are having a laptop, okay. Now if
Huh?
you see your usage pattern, 90% of the time you will be using a browser to access the internet, and
Okay.
10% of the time you might be using your shell or some kind of say other channel, you can say like Teams, shell, email kind of things. But I use 90% of my time using 90% of my time I use browser to access the internet. But you check yourself, since last 1 hour I was on the I was using my laptop, which application I use most? Is it a browser or some other application, something like Outlook or Teams or Skype or something like that? Okay,
Okay.
so now if you see the browsers, right, the majority of the browsers, now we have few browsers which have the domination. One is a Google Chrome, second one is Edge, third one is again Firefox, and nowadays everyone people are using a Brave browser as well. Okay, out of these four, of course there are many, but I'm just giving you four example. Even in this four, Google is having a majority of the role, majority of the portion of the such browsers, you can say.
Okay.
Okay, now why people want to go with the Google? Everyone knows like Google will what call, take your data and it will use it for some R&D purpose analysis. It will sell whatever it want to do, it will do. So one kind of legal thing what Google says is, if you use Gmail, I don't charge you, but I'll be using your data. This is what I know the Google terms and conditions says. But that is the reason
Okay.
I don't really ask people to use Chrome. Rather, use something else, some other browser. You can use Edge or Firefox and say Brave kind of thing. Even the same thing with the Gmail as well. So that is the reason for my personal things. I always use Outlook. Outlook or
Okay.
Hotmail. Okay. Now, Google is owned by Alphabet company, and Microsoft Edge is owned by Microsoft. So Firefox is open source, and Brave is owned by some open source committee, or I really don't know about the Brave. Okay, but if you
Okay.
see like no, I'm going to hack a particular, I'm going to try a testing of an application using Google Chrome. So inbuilt, by inbuilt, by default, Google will try to avoid any kind of malicious activity, because hacking is a malicious activity. But as an ethical hacker, you need to test, you need to send virus, you need to send malicious code to the application. But Google will not allow you to do so.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
so because it's a secure browser, isn't it? Now coming to the purpose of security headers. So what exactly security headers is? As a developer, as a security personnel, I have suggested the developer to use 5 security headers. In a minute I'll tell you what are the security headers, how to find as well. Okay. So
Okay.
what those 5 headers will do is, it will direct the it will what direct the browsers, any browser, it might be Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. Say if you find any issues in my application, I'm commanding you not to disclose that to the end user. Clear?
Clear, clear.
It's something like, no, yes, I have some mistake, I have some problem. I do have some, kind of say XSS issue or SQL issue. Okay, but I'm having my headers. The headers are directing you not to disclose that information to the end user. If the end user came to know about this information, right, he'll just go on the internet, he'll find some tutorial, and he'll try to hack the application, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's the purpose of a security header. But again, if that is the case, then then Kishore, how can we do our testing? So for testing, the best browser is Firefox. It's an open source browser under GPL, General Public License, and
Hmm?
highly customizable. So what we do is before testing, right, we'll be installing all our plugins in the Firefox. So we'll prepare our lab, including a browser. So
Okay,
we generally we don't really use Chrome for testing because of this kind of integrated security, because it is owned by Google. Google will take care of the security, but Firefox is open source. That means security is in your hand. How you want to configure a browser. Clear?
clear.
And second thing is Firefox. We can set a browser proxy in Firefox. I'll show you in a minute again. But when it
Okay,
comes to the Google or Microsoft, they set the system proxy. Now, if you want to create, configure your proxy on your Google Chrome browser or Microsoft Edge, straight away you need to configure your system proxy. System proxy is something like this. Ah, come on, not this. Okay, here you need to set your proxy. The same
okay,
for my Chrome as well as for the say Microsoft Edge. Okay, then you might be
okay,
asking me, hey, Nankishore, what if I set the proxy here, what is the damage it's going to create? Simple thing, right? All your data will be going through the proxy,
okay.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
in general, companies they set this kind of proxies if they want to do kind of filtering, or they want to implement some kind of security mechanism, or they want to speed up their activities of browser activities, kind of things. But when
Huh.
it comes to the Firefox, oh, Firefox have not installed. Yeah,
It's there now.
okay. Go to the settings, just type your proxy, click here. See, I'm going to set a proxy for this particular browser, only for this browser. So that means
Oh,
my traffic, whatever site I browse in this particular Firefox browser, all the traffic will go through this proxy. This is
okay.
how I set the proxy. Now,
Huh.
Kishore, where can I find these things? Clear this. Go to privacy and security. You can install your certificate. Imports. I'll show you in a minute how to import that certificate as well.
Okay,
Where is the network tab? General should be here somewhere. Yeah, this is a network tab. Under network tab, you'll find the proxy. Okay. So
okay,
Firefox is something like it's open source. You can highly customize Firefox, but not the
oh,
same case with a Chrome or Microsoft Edge.
okay,
And say I want Nankisha, I want to check what are the security headers recommended security. Just go to the internet, right? Just put okay. So these are the five recommended security headers. Content security policies,
hmm?
HSTS, X content type, X frame option, referral policy. Okay, these are five. And just read this, you should be understanding. If not, I will help you out with this.
Okay, okay.
Now, You might be asking me, and Kishore, I want to check, what are the security areas implemented on a particular site. Okay,
Okay.
this is a one site. Okay, now just take one company. Any company? Can you give me any company?
Info.
Sorry.
Info. INFOR.
Oh, Infer. See, so their certificate rating is C, and they have only few certificates. X frame is there, content security policy is there, permission policy is there. You need to understand, right? What are these? X frame option. When we start the web application pen testing, right? I'll tell you. Okay,
Okay.
and all these things we'll discuss in a minute. Okay,
Okay.
see, again they are given C. So Nand Kishore, I got this particular thing, but what is the purpose? Still, I'm unable to understand. So whenever a particular engagement you're working on, right? First and
Hmm?
foremost, you need to look for easy targets. So these are the easy target. If I don't find any, something like Xprem is not implemented here, then literally, you can create a POC. Straight away you can create a POC. I'll show you in a minute when we do deal with this OAuth thing. Okay.
Okay.
So this will give you a easy kind of targets. What kind of say things are not present, which we can easily exploit.
Okay. Secretary@com.
Yeah, there are many sites you can use. Okay,
Okay.
and for SSL again, for SSL we have something like a test SSL. This is one of the best script for say testing the SSL things, and we have
SSL labs.
SS yeah SSL scan is another tool available in Kali Linux. These are the Kali Linux tools.
Okay.
No, it's not a Kali Linux tool. You need to install that, and you have some Nmap scripts as well. Okay, again, if you want to find nmap scripts, a simple thing is this is a command you have to use. Say ls slash usr share slash nmap scripts, then grep star, or you can say ssl straight away. Okay,
Okay.
all the pen
Yeah.
testing tools will be installed under these two directories, usr shr share, and under this share you'll find all your tools. And we want nmap, and script is something we are really interested. And now if you want to
Okay.
check online, then we have ssl labs by qualis guard.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
my these things are, yeah. So these are script. Open that, go to your command prompt. Okay, okay, nothing in this. So what I have done is just created a folder on my desktop.
Okay.
We were supposed to complete this Linux as well, right? I was busy a bit. Otherwise, okay, on my desktop I have a folder called tools. I'll be installing all the tools here.
Okay.
Okay, let me go to the, where is this Firefox? Okay, these are test SSL script. Go here, same, get this thing. So what I'm going to say is git clone is something like, no, we use this command. So we are cloning this particular what say URL, you can say, and
Okay.
If you see this URL, both are same. The only difference is you will find at the end you have to put .git. Okay,
Okay.
so I am directing this particular command to go to this particular website, get this script, and put the script in test SSL folder. And then Kishore, I don't want to give any folder. That's fine. It will it will name a default folder.
Hey, do you really have tattoos?
Yeah, I have tattoo on my shoulder, from all the way from my neck to my left arm. I paid 28,000 back in what 2008 probably.
Okay.
Okay, so this is all the files which is which we require to test the SSL strength or SSL certificate. Oh, nice. What is this? Okay, okay. See where is this test SSL script? The script is here, and
Hmm.
the script does have this say permission. When I deal with the Linux, I'll tell you about the permissions. So
Okay.
always remember you need to give a executable permission to the script. So how I give that
Executive
permission?
permission.
Yeah, sudo
Okay.
just put x, so plus x to test. Oh, come on. Hey, come on. CC, it's my mistake. Chmod. Okay. So plus
Okay.
x. Now, Nankishore, I will need to give for vocal in numeric value. I think executable permission is one. Read is 4. Write is 2. Executable permission is 1. You can give like this as well. Okay. Now I have given the permissions for this. So the script is here. Now, again, you need to understand. See, if I give this dot and forward slash, that means I am working in the present
Present.
directory.
Okay.
Okay. If not, let me show you something else. Okay. Wait, wait. See, I am in Eagle folder. Okay.
Mhm.
Earlier, I was in desktop tools and blah blah blah. Now, this particular test SSL is available under this folder on my
Okay.
desktop under tools. Then again, we have one more folder called test SSL.sh. So what I have to give, what I have to do is just put like this. Okay. Desktop tools test SSL, then TST. This is how you need to give because I'm giving the entire path if I'm not in the particular directory. Again, when we do the Linux, we'll take about the relative path kind of things.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the company is info, right? info.com. It's a nice company, man. That's it. Again, you have many options, but I just go with the default options. Just put -h, and you can look for all the different options available for test SSL.sh. Okay, now if you see like the IP address is this. The scanning is started. Version 2 do have issues. Version 3 do have issues. TSL1 version is old. TSL1 is good. Again, it's not it's not bad, but 1.2 is the recommended version. So always remember, if you're looking for SSL, 1.2 is enabled. Only 1.2. Rest of things should not be offered.
So they have enabled only 1.2 and other four are disabled, right?
Yeah, not offered, not offered, not offered. And if you see the color coding, right, not offered
Huh.
means the tool knows there is an issue with this particular thing. That is the reason it's saying not offered. Okay, the tool has checked, but 1.3 don't have issues, but against the old one 1.1 one these things. So that is the reason the tool has not marked.
Okay.
Okay, 1.3 is again, this is something like no under say beta testing 1.3.
Okay.
Okay, it will do
Yeah.
all the testings. Now if you want to convert this particular thing into HTML format, you want to take the report, you can take the report.
Okay.
Okay, clear,
Yeah.
right? Clear.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay, let me, so this is and for nmap, Let me open another tab. Yeah, super. We already got this. Let's put SSL. So these are the different scripts available for SSL. The command should be something like sudo nmap -s capital V -f script, and over the script name say what you want to check, enum, whatever it may be, right? Let me check with the enum SSL hyphen enum hyphen cipher. So this script you use to check these ciphers. Ciphers means encryption algorithms, you can say. Okay, and give the what company name. It does the testing.
Okay.
Okay, I'll cancel this. So under 1.2, these are the ciphers they're offering. One day,
Okay.
guys, I will take a topic on complete encryption. I'll be talking about the public, private, symmetric, asymmetric, what is hashing. These are what kind of, what is SHA 250 is a recommended one. What is ECHDEE, RSA.
Okay.
Okay, it is, it is testing for vulnerabilities. Heartbeat, CSS, ticket bleed, all this is not vulnerable, not vulnerable. Okay,
Okay.
so this is about, you can try SSL scan on your own.
Huh.
Okay, security is also done, and what information we gather. Again, there is no limit for the information to say uh, there's no limit for the information, Pallavi. So it's totally up to you how much information you want to gather. You can gather. So I'm just giving a few kind of checklist, you can say. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again,
And
for
what
some,
do we do with all this information?
yeah, that's a very good question. Now you need to understand, right? Your
Hmm?
success of hacking. See again, when I say hack, in a legal terms, you can say exploiting your, performing
Hmm.
your engagement, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So your success of hacking is directly proportional to the information you gather. So we gather all the information. From that information, we look for the information which is relevant to our testing. If you find some information, say for example, I'll look for a document. So document something like this. Where it will go here. Okay, site colon info.com PDF. See, I get all info, PDS for info, info.com. Okay. See, one of the engagement, right? I was working for one of the cement countries, leading cement countries companies in India, and we did the same thing. I was looking for the information available on the internet. Here, I'm not touching any company sites, right? I'm just searching
Hmm.
the Google. So that means this is illegal, 100% legal. Passive information gathering is legal, but what is illegal is if you use that information to damage the company, then that is an illegal. The
Okay.
clearly
Okay.
point of ethics, right? I'm just giving you information, how we can search for the information. Okay,
Okay.
for the
Yeah.
cement company, what happens is they buy many of the materials from Japan, and when I
Okay.
started looking for the for their local subdomains and the files, I came across their what called transaction documents, and they have uploaded the invoice, different client invoice to different sites and everything. I don't want to name the company, but one of the worst thing is the company, they have the company.com. Say for example, companycement.com. For
Okay.
every client, they have, created an application on an open port. So for example,
Okay.
if I want to access, right,
Yeah.
companycement.com colon 8080 for Nankishore, 8081 for, say, Srikanth, 8082 for Ajay Devgan, kind of things. Okay, instead of
Okay.
giving a login, they give it, they did this kind of things. So again, after the vocal say after the engagement, we clearly told them this is not the way of doing it. Rather, you can use OAuth, that kind of things. Then they said they are using some old software frameworks which won't support this kind of thing. So guys, please excuse me, and I got my kids next to me. Okay, please excuse the noise. Hello.
Yeah, no, no issues.
Okay. Now, Nankishore, I want to look for the subdomains of info. Now we'll take some other company. No info. Some other company. Any other company you have in mind?
Mm, Salesforce
Okay,
or Infosys.
Salesforce.com. Let's check for those Salesforce.com. Okay,
Okay.
so site equal to Salesforce.com. So we have all the sites. See, appexchange.salesforce.com. Okay, and we have admin.salesforce.com. We have trees.salesforce. Did you ever ever thought about the admin.salesforce.com? This is administrative probably login and thinking, right? So now probably the Salesforce admin probably you should be finding some login or kind of thing anyway.
Okay.
So what I'm going to say is I am looking for all the subdomains of Salesforce.com. So you'll be finding something here, admin or XYZ anything. .salesforce.com. Okay, cs.salesforce.com, test.salesforce.com. So you have testing environment. This probably you have your username and password. You can do a brute force attack on this. Okay,
Okay.
and one again this is I'm using a Google queries. Just a minute, Pallavi. Uh, yes, Pallavi. So you're getting me right? What I'm going to say. So with the site operator, I can look for all the subdomains of Salesforce.com. You might be
Okay.
telling me, hey Mankishore, I really don't want to get into this manual kind of things, right? Then we have some other tools. We can say Sublister is one of the tool. Blister. So this is one of the good tool. Sublister. Yeah, we'll take it from the GitHub side. So what Sublister does is we have Google search engine, we have Microsoft search engine, we have Yahoo, we have DuckDuckGo. So this particular tool will go to different searching engine and will get the information for you. Pallavi, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So the here the scanning is done. It says Lucky 13 is vulnerable. So now you go to the internet and look at Lucky 13 how to exploit this particular vulnerability. You can do it. If there is really exploitable, then you can say create a POC and say, hey guys, your site is vulnerable to Lucky 13 and this is a piece of POC. There's nothing about your pen testing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So PWD where are we? Okay. CD desktop tools. Okay. LS. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. LS. We have executable permission. Yes, that's fine. Then we can run. Uh, okay, and hyphen H. This will give you the different kind of things, right? But here we required only subdomains. So I'll say
So
hyphen D.
minus hyphen D.
Okay.
Sorry.
What company you want to give here?
Salesforce.
Okay. See, it is searching Baidu, Yahoo, Google, Bing, Ask, Netcraft, DNS Dumpster, Virus Total, Threat Crowd, SSL certification. Okay, passive DNS, all these things. Okay, virus total is blocking our request. That's fine. Just give some time. It will go to the sub engines and get all the information.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we have discussed this as well, and
Hey, there is one link, Shodan, right?
yeah, I'll tell you about Shodan as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now coming to the Shodan, right? Again, for Nankishore, what is Shodan? I heard people saying, no, it's a hacker search engine, blah blah blah. See, again,
Hmm.
what I mean to say is, in simple terms, yes, Shodan is a search engine. Okay, it will search for
Shodan
all
is a
the search engine,
search
just
engine.
like
Okay.
Google. Now, what exactly Shodan does? Say, for example, I got my company called nan.com. Okay,
Okay.
Shodan will not mark my company in its database until unless someone search my site through Shodan.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So, Shodan, if say for example, let's open the Shodan. Yeah, see, we have these many things. These are all subdomains of Salesforce. See, all kind of things.
So
And
many
we have,
other.
yeah. So in bug bounty, what really happens is they
Mm,
say, no, we have found a bug on Salesforce.com. But in real, they find the bug on the subdomain. It's very easy to find the bug on a subdomain rather than the main subdomain, the main domain.
okay.
You see how many are there.
Mm,
Now you can literally put this, you can populate this string to a file, something like this. So, okay. So everything will be in that particular thing. Then you can do a word count, something like no word count, wc hyphen h word count, and the file name you give. You will get how many subdomains you have, something. Okay, let's look for this showdown. Okay, it's a search engine again. This is so here. What exactly does is see showdown is a totally different topic, Pallavi. So
okay.
I think I already discussed about the showdown in the document VAPT document which I shared with you.
You said you will explain some other day. You mentioned that it's a search engine.
Yeah, it's a search engine. You can search for Salesforce.
Okay. Same way we just got the
Yeah,
information, no? Like that only it will
yeah. But
provide, right?
here we can search for the operating system, IP address, all these things. See,
Okay.
Salesforce is having this many sites and application different countries. So let's go to this. Let's do this showdown. Okay, server equal to apache.com. Then I want it for Salesforce. Just put the Salesforce. Now this how you can do this. Host name, not Google, right? You can put Salesforce in place of Google. So you'll find
Okay.
Apache whether Salesforce is using Apache server or not. Just try this. I don't want to really use Salesforce for my activity
Okay.
because Shodan will track keep a track of Salesforce whatever I search. Okay,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
just a minute. So Pallavi.
Yeah. Yeah. Please continue now.
So I believe you have received a message on your
Yeah. Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
replied to. Ah.
that's fine. So Shodan cheat sheet here. You'll find lots of videos on the internet for Shodan.
Okay.
Okay. So our topic is passive information gathering. So that means we are gathering the information which is available on the internet. We are not touching Salesforce, not info. Clear?
Okay.
And again, you might be asking me, hey, Namkishore, you said we can find whether the particular site is using a firewall, kind of things, all these things, right? So we have many tools. First and foremost, there is a tool like a script called a blind elephant in Kali, and you can use that. So we'll go to this one, and else we have Salesforce admin cat. See, we got all URLs in one. This thing. Okay, that's fine. blind info should be available. This particular thing should be available on Kali. I really don't know. It's been a long time. Let me take this from here. Where is the PY? Got under this wiki. You will have some documentation. Pallavi.
Okay.
Okay, just check this. Generally, this is a inbuilt, inbuilt Python script for Kali Linux, but I really don't know why I was unable to find this. Let me check. -H. No,
Okay.
this is it's not there. But let me check. Nope. Okay, Sasi blind. Okay, it's still right. Let's see. Sasi. Yep, it's here. See, it does not have a kind of executable permission. The blind element, right? So what we do is ch mod plus x. Okay, still not fine. Pallavi, I'll let you know about this blind elephant in some time.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
man.
I really don't know why it is not working in Kali Linux. It should work in fact. Let me check last time. No, no, it's fine. It's not in there in Kali Linux, but I'll let you know in a minute. Okay,
Okay.
rather we can use what information gathering under here. So what else we can use? Geometry, net discover. Yeah, spider foot is one of the group tail. I think I already showed about this spider foot, right?
No.
Okay, no worries. I'll show you in a minute. Was saying this is for wrap is for what identifying the web application file one. So give me a minute. This is a very good tool, Pallavi. This one's spider-proof.
Okay.
And we have harvester. This is especially good to collect the email address of a particular company. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what else we have? The harvester.
War Warwolf.
Huh?
You just showed one Warwolf, right?
Yeah, webproof. This is to identify
Warwolf.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, web application firewall. Okay, WAF, proof, and just 1 minute, Pallavi. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Sorry, Pallavi. I'm back. Okay. Pallavi.
Yeah, 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 no, sorry. I was
Um,
unmuting.
oh, if you see this usage, right, we have some examples here. URL1, URL2, URL2. We'll
Oh,
give the same format, say info.com. Okay, now it will check for the web application firewall present all these things. And I do remember, like, they're using Amazon CloudFront for web. Okay, I do remember, we do have some tools for sorry, nmap scripts for web. So WAF. We have two scripts. So first one will detect, second one will say what kind of things it is. Let's scan with the nmap one. Sudo
okay.
nmap hyphen s capital V hyphen V hyphen script. So it is scanning the port number 80 and 440 by default.
Okay.
So it has detected like there is something like TCP wrappers and all these things are filtered and where is this? Is it providing you information about the WAF? Failed to resolve the the fingerprint. Is fine. So it has detected, yes, there is a kind of vocal firewall, but what kind of firewall it was unable to perform, failed to resolve the WAF fingerprint. But if you see WAF proof, it says like no, yes, there is a firewall and it is a cloud from Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, So this is the information gathering, and you do have some tools which which are mentioned in the VAPD document. Just go through those tools.
Okay.
Okay, and hosting details already I showed you. We have something like say you get signal. I believe I've showed you the spider foot when we are doing this. You get signal. Okay, here we'll take Uninor Telenor Telenor Bangla something probably. Yeah, yeah, Grameen phone. Huh?
That using email addresses and phone numbers.
No, no, no. I was, I showed you like no, I showed you what kind of virtual hosting was there. It was supposed not supposed to like. I'll give you an example about one of the Pakistani PM's website the other day. That's fine. Let me show you this. See, this is the IP address of Grameen Phone, but however, there are this many different sites installed on this particular IP address, virtual hosting.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and who is this one more site? Who is again? You can look for domain tools. Okay. Okay, if you see this right, Grameenphone dot limited, and these are the register address, and BD is Bangladesh, and these are the dates, expiry. This is a certificate date, whatever it means. The name servers, contact details, IP, say IP history, and IP address. This IP address. Okay, and
Okay.
we take this particular, oh, this belongs to what Wipro. Oh, that's really good to know. The Indian company is maintaining this Grameenphone of Bangladesh. That's good to hear that, man. Okay, so again, there is no limit for information gathering, Pallavi. You
Okay.
can gather as many information as you want, but again, we'll confine to our engagement. So now, information gathering is very much important for public-facing sites, the sites which
Okay.
are on the internet. Now, you might be asking, how about the internal sites? We don't do information gathering for internal sites. Okay, we just know the tech stack, what technology they're using, what is the server IP, what is the server operating system, those things. So you might be asking me, hey Nankishore, that is fine about passive information gathering. How about the active information gathering? Isn't
Yeah.
it? So
Yeah.
active information gathering is very simple, right? We use Nmap um, to check for open ports, services, services version, okay, OS, then vulnerabilities. This is what we do. So that directly we are probing the site. Now we'll use the company, Grameen phone IP address. Here we are searching the Google.
Hmm.
Okay, clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Clear.
And active scanning is illegal. So do not scan any site if you don't have permission. Of
Okay.
course, I did scan for Salesforce as well as Info, which I was not supposed to do. I was just showing you. Okay,
Okay.
and this is purely for education purpose. I have no intentions to disturb any of the company's network.
Okay. Okay.
So do not scan without permission. Permission is something like SOW, you can say document.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is about information gathering. So you might be asking Nankishore, what after information gathering, what we will be doing? Okay. Now comes in the OWASP. web application uh, testing. So here we will be using all the test case scenarios which implemented in the document. So I have shared you one Excel sheet, a checklist,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
And now let's check this, right? Give me a minute. I already deployed one server here. Why? Why this isn't be bad? Okay. So this is a wonderful web application, Pallavi. So
Huh.
you can install this application. You can do all the testings. Okay. Just download, and you can download the application. And then Kishore, I download the application. I want to configure. You have lots of YouTube videos which you can use to configure. Okay. No, I don't want to
Okay.
do that. Then download this beware box itself. It's a virtual box. You can get this box. So where is this? Yeah, this one. Okay. Unzip and
Oh,
open with your virtual box. I did the same thing. Now the
okay.
BWAP is running. I will identify the what call IP address of that. BWAP start. Yeah, started. Let me check the IP address. Hey, come on, I want. Hey, come on, man. I want to open the terminal. This is strange. Full screen. See, it is not going to my taskbar. No problem. Can we see what is this? No worries. So this is IP. Say hi zoo. Whatever it may be. I really don't know. But 48. I'm thinking 48 is IP for my beware.
Okay.
Okay, not that. 4451 is there. I can literally find that, but give me a moment. Let me check what the best I can do here. 51 is IP. That's fine. Okay, so the
Okay.
password is BUG. The reason I ask you to work on this particular application is you will find all the test scenarios which are
Hmm?
properly arranged according to the OWASP rules.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you see this document, right, the OWASP document that we have just discussed, where is it? Yeah, this one here. Okay. The first one is information gathering. So I have, gone through all those things just now in the passive information gathering, and active information gathering. You know how to scan with Nmap, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the same thing, web application, fingerprints, text stack, meta files. Again, there's no limit for this, but those whatever we have discussed, there should be more than enough. It will cover many of these things.
Okay.
Okay, see these are the Google searches operators. These are some of the error messages. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, fingerprinting the web server. So okay, I will tell you this. What is the question and response in a minute. So you have read this, right? All these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Configuration and deploying management testing. This is something we have just did, but subdomains, take over, give me a method, HSTS, application, enabling information application, admin interface, okay, old backup, okay. So you have done this 4.2, right, Pallavi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you mentioned, na, I covered everything.
So you have any idea about if I ask you what is the platform configuration or so application configuration or network infrastructure configuration?
Application configuration. 1 second.
Application platform configuration.
1 second.
This is just a tech stack of application. So let me show you that, right? Give me a minute. Okay,
Yeah. This I know.
yeah, this is nothing but your application
Huh.
platform configuration.
Huh. Tech
Save,
stack, right?
yeah, you go here and click. So these are the application platform configuration. They're using Firefox thing. PHP is a backend programming language. Drupal is a CMS they're using. Okay, if you go through the document, so first thing is network infrastructure configuration means whenever they say network, remember they are talking
Mm.
about the IP address, they are talking about the ports, services, firewall, these kind of things. So let's click on
Ah.
that. What kind of thing they are talking. So server vulnerabilities. Okay, you need to know the server again, what operating system we are using, the version, administration tools. Okay, Okay, sensitive information. I will tell you in a minute. Okay. Pallavi, 4.1, 4.2 is again, is a kind of theory part, but again, there are some practical part we'll be covering in OAuth Top 10.
Okay,
Okay.
because here it's more of theoretical. So when you get questions, I get confused. When you start
Yeah,
showing,
that is fine.
yeah.
That is fine. Okay. And even 4.3 also is a more or less a kind of theory you have to do on your own distance, right? So
Okay.
test role definition, registration process. So when I say registration process, the simple term is, say for example, gmail.com, right?
Huh.
In Gmail, Google is giving us permission to register ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the registration process in many of the companies, right? For example, say I take a subscription for Amazon.
Hmm.
Okay, not Amazon, I can say some XYZ company. The company will say, hey buddy, you know what, yes, we received your payment, this is your username and password. That means they are doing the registration and they are giving us,
Huh.
isn't it? So
Yeah. Yeah.
those things like no account provision process, these are 4.3.2 and 4.3, they are very much interrelated. Now how can we test those things? Sorry, test those things in sense. Say for example, I'm creating an email account on google.com, pallavi@gmail.com. So
Hmm.
yes, I got it. Can I create the one more email with the same pallavi.com? If so, then it's a vulnerability,
Hmm.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a minute, Pallavi. So you're getting my point, right? So
Yeah.
creating
Yeah. Got.
multiple registration with the same information. So this is how we are what challenging the implemented process. Account provisioning process. They are provisioning the account. So what kind of test they we can do there? Let's check. They are straightforward theory thing. Again, these things you need to keep in mind and you need to test on real websites.
Okay.
Okay, just theory. The company see
Yeah. Yeah.
how to test straight away. You can read and you can understand this.
Okay.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me go to the particular thing. This one, right? Okay, account. Testing for account enumeration and guessable accounts. This is something like when you buy a router, Wi-Fi router. Okay,
Hmm.
so the username and password they are printed on your box, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there is a default. So for example, your neighbor who is also using the same company router,
Hmm.
say a D-Link router. Okay, so what
Okay.
router you are using?
Neighbor,
Hello.
I don't know.
No, you. What router you are using?
Airtel router on.
Airtel router, right? Let's check your. So if you don't change the username and password, you can
Hmm.
use a default username and password, and you can log into the router. This is how it is. But nowadays, what the router manufacturer are doing is for
Hmm.
every box they have a unique password. Okay.
Okay.
See, if you can see here, they say the default username is admin and the password is password. It really
Hmm.
works. Many of the if you go to Shodan, right, just look for
Hmm.
default username and password. You'll find many of the devices having the same default username and password. So what I mean to say is, when you buy anything, for example, you are working for a company. Say I used
Hmm.
to work for a company. The
Hmm.
company, Palak, just 1 minute, Palak, please.
Okay.
Hey Pallavi,
Hey, Anand.
hey, sorry for the interruption. Okay, um,
Mhm.
so where are we? We are on this, right? So account enumeration is, for example, say you have a particular login page. Okay,
Mm,
in the login page, say we have a company called info.com. They said they created an account to you, and they have given you the username and password. You try to log in with that username, and you give a wrong password. So the application will throw a message something like, "No, hey buddy, your password is wrong." That means username is right, right? Internally, that's how it works.
huh.
Okay, but
Okay.
so you're getting my point, right? What I mean to say, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got,
so for
got it.
example, I am a hacker, so probably some default username is something like admin.com, admin. So if I use
Mm,
admin and if I use some XYZ password, if the
mm,
application is throwing, hey buddy, your password is wrong, then I can do a brute force. Admin account will not get logged out. So other accounts probably 510 after 510 trials, it will lock
mm,
out, but not the admin things. Say for example, I got the email address from some XYZ on the internet. I got the email address, something like no pallavi@info.com.
mm,
Now I try all permutation combinations for the password. If there is no account lockout mechanism is implemented, with
mm.
some techniques I can break the account, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whenever you're giving a right username, wrong password, a wrong username, right password, or both are wrong,
Mm,
the error message should be generic. That means the application has to say, "Hey buddy, your username or password is mismatched or incorrect. Please provide valid credentials." In this scenario, the application is not telling us your username is wrong or password is wrong. It's a generic message.
okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
account enumeration is if this kind of thing is not implemented properly, then we have a separate error message for username, separate error message for password. Your username is wrong, please provide a correct username, or your password is wrong, that means username is right, obviously, right?
Mm,
Those kind of things. Now second thing, hey
okay.
Nankishore, if this particular thing is not giving a generic message, how should I identify? So remember, when you're giving a right username and right password, it will log you in the application, isn't it?
Huh.
Okay, what if you're giving a right username and wrong password?
Mm,
Application will take a little bit of time, say some minute 1 second or 2 second or milliseconds. Some delay will happen. That means even though the application is giving you the generic message, with the delay you can figure out, yes, my username is right and the password is wrong. Correct?
okay. Got it, got it.
Okay, so here the username is B and bug is a password, right? So I said
Mm,
B, and password also I'll give B.
okay.
Okay, give me a minute, let me inspect. See, I'm giving the login name as B and password as B, and let's see. It says invalid credentials or user not activated. Okay,
Okay.
this is a generic one. But if it says like no wrong password, that means yes, I can figure out the username is right. B. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
So that means the application is telling your username is right, the password is wrong. So that's how we enumerate the users. Then we do brute force attack on the users.
Okay.
That is about this one. Where is it gone? Yeah. Guessable user account. Guessable user account means username is admin, password is password. Username is admin, password is 123. So these kind of password, like
Mm,
say common passwords. So these are the top 10 common passwords they use for
okay.
some usernames. Just try this.
Okay.
So for example, TP link, right? TP link, default credentials. So see, they have given some kind of credentials for Wi-Fi, but for logging in, they have admin and password as password for TP link. So that is the reason whenever whenever you get anything, you need to change your credentials from default to some XYZ. So here, where is it one? Guessable account means simple thing, right? I am say I am your neighbor, and you are using Airtel Wi-Fi. So what I do is I try to hack your Airtel Wi-Fi. How do I do that? One is number one, I need to get your Wi-Fi password. I do XYZ kind of things. It takes time, but yes, I got it. Second, after the XYZ password, right? I need to get into your
Mm.
Wi-Fi router. So I
Yeah.
know Wi-Fi router, Airtel Wi-Fi router username is admin. Now I need a password.
Mm.
So guessable things. So you got right what I'm going to say. What is
Yeah, yeah,
enumeration and what
got
is
it.
guessable? Okay.
Yeah.
Testing for weak or unenforced username policies. So again, whenever they say weak, right?
Mm.
So you need to understand many of if you see many of my Linux password, I just put TOR reverse of root. Okay. So weak
The
password is something like which you can easily break. Something like 1 2 3 4 5 6.
okay.
So when you do the brute forcing, right, you will be knowing this kind of things. But that is the reason always the company says your password should be strong. It should have at least 8 characters and
Mm.
one capital letter, some alphanumeric, then small letters, one number.
Mm.
So if you don't give this kind of combination, it's very easy to break your password. Okay.
Okay.
Unenforced username policies. Okay, now what? Again, you need to understand username policy. Okay, policy.
Mm.
Who make these policies? Policies are made by company HR or company IT is a company. Okay, so
Okay.
username policies. That what exactly is this? Say for example, one of my friend used to work for Wipro. They have
Okay.
a different username. Okay, so username. Say for example, my name is Nan.Kumar. Okay, if Wipro is going to put nan.kumar at the wipro.com, it's easy, anyone can guess, right? So
Yeah.
that is the reason Wipro have a different say they put nan some number, then Kumar some number, and that
Mm.
is for the email address. But when I want to log into the laptop, they have a
Mm.
different credentials, they tie
Mm.
together. So those kind of username policies. But if you read this against the theory, see, just a theory, how how you should implement, you should not implement, Joe blocks to J blocks, this kind of things. So if you do these kind of things, right, you go on the internet, Ajim Premji, right?
Mm.
Okay, if they follow this kind of username policy for Azim Premji for Wipro,
Mm.
so then you can say A Premji is a username, then try all different passwords.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it, right? So
Yeah,
it's
got
all
it.
theory. Okay, and in fact, these things are just something like we test on the fly, we don't have any notes or any kind of things.
Okay.
Okay, and if you see right now, if you see the role definitions, so role
Mm.
definition is, for example, say you are a manager of
Mm.
say elephant.com company. Okay,
Okay.
and you have your team member as me as Nankishore, and you
Mm.
have a fresher called Shrikant. Okay,
Okay.
now company have a portal wherein that you have to give the review. So you log in as a manager and you have a
Mm.
different kind of view, portal view, isn't it?
Huh?
I log in as a Nankishore. I have a different view for the portal, and Srikanth will have will log into the portal. He have a different view. So that means
Mm.
every role is tied with some functionalities,
Yeah.
because those things they are discussed here. So again, it's a theory. Role is called admin, blah 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 blah. Now you might be asking me, and Kishore, if we don't define this role in a proper manner, what will
Mm.
be the challenge? Horizontal and vertical privilege escalation. Say for example, again when we do the practical, right, you will come across admin account equal to 0. So when I try to
Okay.
log in the login, right, when I capture my request, right, in the request it say
Mm.
admin account equal to 0. What if I make the admin account as 1? I'll get admin privileges.
Okay.
So those kind of things. So role-based access
Huh.
control. So you can say these things are very theory, but you need to understand this. If you don't implement properly, then there
Mm.
is a scope for privilege escalation, horizontal and vertical. Say for example, the same Elephant dot company, we have you as a manager, and we have some Adam as another manager. Okay,
Okay.
so you are a manager, Adam as a manager, right? But if you
Mm.
have Adam account by changing some parameters in the request, and you
Mm.
successfully got Adam account, that means you are at the same level, isn't it? This is nothing but horizontal privilege escalation. You are escalating a privilege from Pallavi to Adam. Both are
Okay.
managers. But if
Yeah.
the Srikanth is a fresher, if you
Mm,
try to change his vocal uh, privilege, right, role, but change
mm,
manipulating some vocal kind of say parameters, and if you
mm,
get Pallavi,
mm,
now this is a vertical, right? Now
mm.
he's bypassing me as well as he's going to you. So there is
Yeah.
no TL directly targeting your account. So that's a vertical privilege escalation.
Mm,
So one of the scenario is I was working for one of the what call say pharmaceutical company. Those
okay.
guys are into research institutions in USA. So they
Okay.
develop a software and they provide the software as a service to different clients. The
Okay.
problem is the application was developed in Java, and they
Mm,
have not implemented this role, RBAC, role-based access control or access control. So anyone, if with a little bit of knowledge, right, they can capture the request, they can change the parameters from company one to company. For every company, they are given one, two, three, four. Okay. If I want to see
okay.
my company, I'll say, my company is elephant.com, but internally every company have assigned a number. Elephant.com is number one. Okay, that guy will capture the request. He'll see, he'll change number one to number 10. He got a different company. He will do the changes. Every time they got this kind of complaints, hey buddy, someone else is manipulating our data. We don't have this kind of thing, they kind of thing. Then they call me to do the pen testing, and clearly I told them about this is the issue with the role-based access control, blah 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 blah. Now they told me, hey buddy, if you want to change everything, our
Mm,
framework don't work. Framework means is a suite of softwares, you can say,
huh.
don't work in this particular architecture. Can you provide any other solution? I said encrypt everything. Simple thing, right?
Okay.
When you encrypt with some very good algorithm, that guy
Mm,
will get only the kind of gibberish text. Rather than
okay.
one, they will get encryption. Every encryption algorithm have certain properties. Say for example, you have an encryption algorithm and you are providing your Pallavi, Pallavi. Pallavi is just say 4 or 5 characters. Example.
Okay. Okay.
Output, right? Output should be a fixed length. Say
Mm,
output, it should be 15 characters, some alphanumeric numbers, anything, but it should be 15 characters. Now tell me, the person who sees this 15 character, can he guess? It was Pallavi's, a kind of encrypted text.
15 characters. No.
No, right? The same thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you implement the encryption on this particular sensitive parameters, then
Mm,
whoever probably they might if you don't want to do the changes, you are in a mood to accept some risk.
mm,
Then if you implement the security, right, the person who is seeing this request,
mm.
now he won't be able to change the request because you don't need know what number is that, and you don't know what kind of algorithm we are using, what is the key of the algorithm, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's how I provided the solution, and the client was very very happy, and I got a very good appreciation from the client.
Okay.
So it was on the fly. So roles, role definitions are very important, and this is something like again, we'll be discussing in practical. We need to check this. So for example,
Okay.
one of the client, right, we have. Give me a minute, please.
Okay.
Okay, Pallavi, I have sent a message in the company laptop. Can you check that?
Yeah, Nand.
Okay, Herbie was working on one of the application. Okay,
Okay.
so whenever we test the application, right, we always ask the client to provide two user credentials. One user credential with the admin privilege, and one user credential with normal privilege, just to check
Okay.
whether we can do horizontal or vertical escalations.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got it, right, what I mean to say?
Yeah. 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 Got it. Got it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, where are we? Yeah, role definition, user registration, account provisioning, enumeration, this all done. Now, authentication testing. So before that, I see we have identity, we have authentication, we have
Hmm.
authorization, and we have session management. Okay,
Huh. Huh.
these 5 things, right? We have 5 things. One, two, three, four. Yeah, 4 things, right? Let
Huh.
me give a small, theory about this, right? Give me a minute.
Okay. Nand, I'll just drink one glass
Yeah,
of
please go
water.
ahead. Please go ahead.
Nand?
Yes, Pallavi, you're back.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. Now, just understand this particular flow. So first we have identity.
Hmm.
Okay. Then authentication. Then authorization.
Hmm.
Okay. Then after that we have fourth thing as maintaining authorization.
Okay.
Now, what is your understanding about these 4 points?
Identity, uh, what we are identifying whether the person is authorized or not.
Okay. So whenever you see identity, it always talks about the usernames.
Okay.
Okay. Whenever
Yeah.
you talk about the authentication, it talks about passwords.
Yeah.
Okay. Authorization, permissions, talks about permissions.
Permissions.
Okay. Maintaining authorization is nothing but your session.
Okay.
Okay. How
Yeah.
you use cookies, session ID, session variables, all these things we'll be discussing in a minute. Okay. So
Ah.
let's talk about these four things, three things, and there's one more called as say audit. Audit. Okay. Audit
Okay.
is monitoring your activities. Okay. So more or less like a kind of log mechanism. So whenever, right, whenever say your identity, you always tell who are you, right? There is identity. You say your name. Okay. Authentication is nothing but a username and password. Well, more or less, they talk about the passwords in
Yeah.
our web application terminology. So both authentication, identification, and authentication, identity are identity both the same, right? So
Hmm.
identification, authentication, they both are done using username and password.
Okay.
Okay. Once you're successfully authenticated, you have something like authorization. This is a process. Once you are
Uh,
authorized, you have a maintaining authorization is a session as well as auditing. That means whatever you are doing, that will be
hmm.
audited using your logging mechanism. Now
Okay.
let me give a small scenario. So again we have an application. In the application, the username is pallavi.com. So they say username, password, submit. So in the username you put pallavi.com and you click on the password, submit button. What kind of error it will give you?
What conduct? Sorry.
What kind of error it will give you? Say we have this, right?
Username or password
So
incorrect.
see B. Okay, I don't give the password. Let me click on login button. Then see what kind of error it's giving.
Okay. Not
Invalid
that
credentials. So
invalid.
that means it is not even considering the username as well. This is
Huh.
how a proper kind of what call, site should work. Let me check. It's a generic message, right? You don't know whether the password or username is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
missing. But some sites they say please provide your password. That means they are validating the login as separate, password separate. So
Okay.
whenever we talk, it's about the identification. This username, password is authentication,
Hmm?
and let's go to this password thing, right? The page. Where is this page? Yeah, this is already we have discussed about the user accounts, all these things. Authentication. Credentials transported over an encrypted channel, default credentials, weak lockout mechanism, bypassing authentication schema, vulnerable remember password, browser cache weakness, weak password policy, weak security questions and answers, weak password change or reset functionality, weak authentication in alternative channel. Okay, we have 10 different topics under authentication. Let's take one by one. The first one is testing for credentials transported over a encrypted channel. So what do you mean by encrypted and unencrypted in web terminologies?
Encrypted when
Encrypted
the
and
password
unencrypted.
is going for authentication check that time whether it's encrypted or not. That's it's talk about that, right?
No, you say talking about the channel, right? So simple HTTP and HTTPS. S means
Yes.
secure. Okay. So for
Okay.
example, if you see this particular thing, right? Is this side one? So this is going on HTTP, not secure. But if if I open my Gmail,
Hmm?
see, this is HTTPS. You see a login, right? Let's open some site, right? What site we can open? HDFC net banking. Can you see
Yeah.
HTTPS? Okay.
Yeah.
When I click on this, right, you see the kind of padlock kind of thing. So that means now all my traffic are encrypted and going on a encrypted channel, secure channel. But if you see
Hmm?
the BWAP application, it does not have the padlock. Okay, if I copy the URL and copy in my notepad, see, it says HTTP, not HTTPS.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what kind of testing we do here, Narkishore? Now you need to see when I give my username and password. So let me show that here itself in the Kali Linux. I was surprised, man. How come Bangladeshi people they are doing yoga?
Nowadays, yeah,
Generally,
all are doing yoga,
yeah,
no?
I agree. But again, it's an Islamic country, right? They have a strict kind
Oh,
of rules not to take up other religious
yeah.
activities. But again, yoga got nothing to do with the religion. It's purely science and it's for your health,
Yeah.
mental and physical health. Okay. This is my proxy. Come on, open up. Okay. What I'm doing, man. 192.168.1.51. PWAR. That's fine. Okay, let me intercept this. See, if you see this request, this is a request. So whenever
Hmm?
you see the request, So
Mm.
requests do have few kind of properties. Like now these are all different headers, and this is a body. Okay, the headers and body is separated by one space. Simple thing.
Okay.
And the first part of the header is the post. This is a method. Okay, I'll talk about the method, different methods. Now, if you see the URL, it says http colon slash slash 192.168.1.51 on port 80. Do you see yes here?
Yeah, HTTPS. Yeah.
Where is yes? It's just HTTP, right? No S.
That's dot. It's
Yeah.
not clear. I thought
Oh,
it's
give me a
yes.
minute. Give me a minute. Let me display. Okay. Can you see now?
Yeah, yeah. HTTP. The
Okay,
dot.
no S.
Yes. Yeah.
Colon slash slash. So this
Yeah.
is a unsecured. This is what we are doing in the testing. Let me forward the
Oh.
request. Okay, log me in.
mm,
Now we'll do the same thing for Gmail. Okay, now what I do is I click on this and I say some, I will let me load this first of all. Can you see? HTTPS is there.
Yeah. Now it's yes. Yes.
Okay. Now what I
Okay.
have to do is for my testing. Where is this man? I will send this request to my intruder or sorry, repeater. I got this thing in repeater, and here I'll try to manipulate. Okay, remove the HTTP, and I'll forward the request. See, it is not going. So what I mean to say is, so in real time, like when you're testing, right? So when you see HTTP, yes, give me a minute. Where is it going, man? Go here, just remove the S and give the username and password. If
Oh.
if you are able to log in and if you
mm,
still see the HTTP, then it is a vulnerability.
Okay.
Okay, you are sending your credentials in a unsecured channel. Now, if you see HTTPS, okay, let me check. Let me say some number. I'll give right. Okay, and there's a continue. See, it is asking me the password. Let me give some password. I really don't know the number is present or not. See, it is redirecting to HTTPS again.
Mm.
So this is a sign of a secure site. Even though
Okay.
if you give HTTP, you should redirect to HTTPS. Okay, that
Okay.
is what the first one says. Okay.
Okay.
Testing for default credentials, as I told you, it is something like no admin password, password 123. These are the default credentials. Weak
Okay.
lockout policy. That means I have my username as admin or Pallavi dot at gmail.com, but password I give Pallavi 123. No, Pallavi 2456. No, Pallavi XYZ. Pallavi 567. So keep on giving some different things. If the application is not logging me out, say on your company laptop, right? Give
Mm.
password for 5 times. See what will happen? It will lock you out. It will lock out the laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the same thing, in the bank side, you give password, wrong password 4 5 times, and
Mm.
see what will happen. It says it will you have one attempt, you have two attempts. After that, zero attempts. It say
Mm.
your account is logged out. Go to the bank or wait for one day or some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that means for a secure account, lockout mechanism has to be implemented. If the
Oh.
lockout mechanism is not implemented, then you
Mm.
can trigger brute force attack.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, these
Yeah.
attacks are confined to this testing thing, authentication
Mm.
testing. Okay,
Oh. Oh.
bypassing authentication schema. How do you bypass? I don't want to give username and password. Then how can I bypass?
Okay.
Okay, in this scenario there are multiple scenarios, multiple tests you can do. One of the testing is using SQL injection, you can bypass. Okay, but
Oh.
let's check, let's check, we'll go to here. And another one is say these are Linux. Yeah, these are Linux, right? I'll go to the dashboard. Okay, I will log out from this account. Is log out, right? Yeah, log out is here. Okay, That is fine. It says login.php. Now we'll go to the dashboard. So target, and where is this? My scope is this. Let me add this scope, and just don't want all these things. I believe, right? You know what is the scope and how to maintain the scope.
You
Okay.
explain me.
Yeah. So if you see, these are the requests, right? So one of
Hmm?
the requests is login. Yes, we give the username and password. So where is this? Yeah, this is a username. This is a password. That is fine. I don't want this. Okay. And after login, we have this, credits, info, password, reset. Also, we have. So I will send this password reset to my repeater. Okay. I will send the request. I got 302. What do you my Okay, before that, let me tell you a few things, right, about HTTP methods.
Okay.
There are many HTTP methods, but the important ones are get, post,
Post.
put, head, delete,
Delete.
junk, and what else we have? Yeah, options, then a trace. So these are some of the things we use a lot. Okay,
Okay.
what do you mean by get? So what is the understanding? What is your understanding on get?
Fetching something.
Yeah, getting something, right? The
Ah.
same thing. When I say, when I put this URL, so automatically it will take, hey buddy, get me that
Hmm.
URL, resource.
Yeah.
What do you mean by post?
Uh, Posting something.
Yeah, that
Like
means posting
we are
some data.
sending the
Yeah,
information.
sending some data, right? What do you mean by
Yeah.
put?
Keep it there like that.
Now put is something, updating the information, you can say.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is head?
Head of the message.
Yep, head of the message. So in our terms, this is a head. So this is a head. Okay,
Huh.
all these things. And get will not have, get method will not have a body. Only post and put, they will have a body, but not the get.
Okay.
Okay, now if you go to the target and see whether we have any post, yes, we have this post here. See, let me send this to repeater. Okay, this is the head. Okay,
Huh.
always remember, head and post, they are divided by at least one space or two space,
Okay.
and this is a body. Post will have head as well as the body, but get will not have the body.
Okay.
Okay, and now put clear. What is head? Head is nothing but this part of the body.
Huh. Main
Okay.
information.
Yeah. So again, after that, what we have? We have delete. What do you mean by delete?
Deleting the information.
Yeah, deleting the information, right? So jank is something like, we give this jank to test what kind of, if you give jank. Jank is not a method, but we type jank or none or Pallavi, you can put anything, and you see
Okay.
how the application is behaving. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Options. This particular thing, if you use these particular things, right? So
Hmm.
let me show you, right? Where is it gone? Okay. Okay. Already I'm here. Go to the proxy, intercept, refresh. So already I am authenticated. So I got this. Send to repeater. Release the request. Get here. Now this is a get, get method, right? What if I put options here? Let me send this. Okay. So whenever you use options, right, it will tell
Hmm.
you how many methods are present and how many HTTP methods this particular thing is giving you. Like, get is okay. The application is accepting get. The application is accepting post. The application is accepting put, head, delete. This is how. Because uh, see, simple thing is, if you want to check one, it takes time, right? But if you
Hmm.
put options, just options, is it options or option? Give me a minute, let me check. Okay. We will take some post one. Yeah, let me send this to the repeater. This is strange. It's not giving what are the things available. Let's check this. Okay. So Pallavi, that's fine. The application is not giving the information, but generally, when you put options, right?
Uh,
So it will tell you, whether what are the methods allowed. It will in the response it will say, get, post, put. These are the allowed methods. Then you can do your testing on this. Okay. Now
okay.
if you go here, say HTTP methods. Okay. Available methods. So see, we have many methods here, but these are the commonly used, and yeah, these are the commonly used methods. But I just want to see the entire document. You have lots of methods. Yeah, see, we have trace, option, connect, delete, blah blah blah. But again, there are more than they have given only 8, but there are many. This is a good one. You can read this. Okay, let's do on this one. So Pallavi, you're getting my point, right? What I mean to say.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Got it, Nand.
So we are what called, directing the browser and application. Say, hey buddy, fetch me this, post this data, update this data. I'll be using only the head. I'll be using only, no, if you want to delete something, use delete method and delete the resource or data. Okay. Trace,
Okay.
this method we can use, when you have some kind of load balancer, or proxy in front of your application, you can use
Mm,
trace.
okay.
Okay. Now coming to the status codes. So what exactly status codes are? Just remember this, like one XX, two XX, three XX, four XX, and five XX. So one XX is always, whenever the status code start with one, it is informative.
Uh,
So when you see the status code with the two, it's a okay response, good response. So these are response. You can see these kind of things in responses.
okay.
And these ones, STP methods, you will find them in request. Okay. And whenever you see 300 starting with 3, redirection. 400, client side issue. Client side issue means, say for example, I am giving username, wrong password. It says 400 error. That means yes, the client is giving, the end user is giving right, wrong username, wrong password kind of things. And 500 is server side issues.
Okay.
So remember these things, right? Uh, we'll go to our document. We Yeah, we are talking about the bypassing authentication schemas, right? Hello.
Yeah, and no. Yeah, yeah. Bypassing. Yeah, bypassing. Also.
Okay. So what I mean to say, like, when you have username and password, right? So one way of bypassing is giving, using SQL injections. So when we talk with the SQL injection, I'll tell you. Another way of bypassing is, already you are inside the application. Okay. You have your session ID. Okay. You said, your first name is this, last name is this, and you got this response. So what, I'll go to this particular target, I copy that link. Okay, just go to the browser, try to access the link. See, you are unable to access because you are not authenticated, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what I mean to say is, for example, you are using a mobile banking or say internet banking. You provide
Okay.
your username and password and you download the statement. Just copy that URL and log out of the banking account and just
Mm.
paste that URL and directly try to access that particular statement. To download the statement. If you are able to access, that means you are automatically bypassing the authentication.
Okay.
So there are many scenarios. This is one of the scenarios. This scenario is also called as IDOR, indirect object reference.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be going forward. We'll be discussing each and everything, right?
Mm.
So is this vulnerable? No, not this, right? Yeah. Okay, vulnerable. Remember password functionality. So what exactly does it mean? Means like whenever the user say I want to check the internet. I don't have a laptop. I'll just go to a browser, internet browser. Sorry, not internet browser, internet cafe to browse the internet. And this is a very common scenario in an internet cafe. So I check my Google, and the site will ask you to prompt you to save the password. Something like give me a minute. Let me check. Can I save it here? B B U G. See, it is asking me, "Okay, do you want to save this password?" I say save. Isn't it, Pallavi?
Yeah.
Then you might be asking, hey, what is the issue with that? So this save password, like, no, if I need, no, if I have a little bit of IT knowledge, right, I can literally retrieve this password. Let me show you that. Go to the settings. So where is this privacy and thing? Where's the password? Password, password, password. No, this additional settings. Let me do it from Firefox. So where is my Firefox? Okay. Save. That's fine. I'll go here. Settings. Yep. Login and password is here. Can you see?
Yeah.
So that means
Mm.
if the browser prompting you to save password, and that means
Mm.
you can retrieve the password as well. The
Okay.
username is B and the password is bug. So there is another one. So the if you observe the bank applications, right? Bank applications never ask you to save the password. You don't get that particular prompt. So I'm using
Okay.
the same browser to access my HDFC net banking. Okay. Now this particular thing will not ask me to prompt me to save my password.
Okay.
Okay, so those
Yep.
there is nothing but your password save kind of thing. Give me a minute where we are. Yeah. Okay, a vulnerable remember password. Now browser cache weakness. Hey Nankishore, what exactly is this? This is very simple. Just log into your site. Okay, b b u g bug. I logged in, right? Pallavi,
Mm.
I log
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just click the back button. Okay. See,
Mm.
it is not logging me in because the application is secure or whatever it may probably the security level is high. But
Mm.
if you see some of the applications, if you press the back button, it will take me to the login page. Sorry,
Okay.
logged in page. Logged in means already it will take me to this particular page.
Mm.
B bug. This page it will take me. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Kishore, if I see this page, can I mark it as a vulnerability? No. After, once you log in and you click the back button, you came to this page. Now, if you click on any of this link, right, the
Mm.
application should redirect you to the login page.
Okay.
If you are able to, say, if you are able to do any operations, right, that means
Mm.
this is a vulnerability. These are, browser cache weakness.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So log in, then log out, then click the back button and see whether you are able to see the login page. If so, try to click on any link and you should be doing some operation. That means yes, that's a vulnerability.
Okay.
Okay, weak password policy, as I told you, password should be a minimum of 8 characters, alphanumeric with numbers, special character, everything. So if if the application is taking one letter password, there's just one. So many
Mm.
of my see Linux passwords, right? I put the reverse of root, which is
Mm.
TOR. So those kind of things. And weak security question answers. This is something like, no, I logged into Facebook. Okay, now I
Okay.
just want to try to hack your account. So I just
Okay.
go to this forgot password, and it
Mm.
will prompt me to answer some questions,
Okay.
isn't it? So the
Yeah.
question is something like, hey, what is Pallavi's maiden name, or Pallavi's favorite color of
Mm.
color,
Yeah.
or Pallavi's favorite car.
Mm.
If I do a little bit of R&D, if I go to your if I keep a track of your Facebook things, right? I know
Mm.
if you take say more picture on a particular color dress, say red or blue, then I can figure out, yes, probably Pallavi dress is red, is we call say choice of color.
Mm.
Okay, if you see me like I always prefer black kind of bikes, so you can figure out, yes, this guy is something like black color kind of things. So
Mm.
always remember, security questions should be different, answer should be different. Now if you ask me, hey Nankishore, one of the security question is your say your childhood school.
Mm.
Okay, then what kind of answer I have to give? Just give some some filmy dialogue.
Okay.
No one can guess those things, right?
Yeah.
So those kind of things. So
Okay.
application, if the again, if the application is prompting you for easy questions, say, hey, maiden name, what is our last 4 digits of a phone number, then
Mm.
those kind of things are talks about this particular thing. Weak security questions, okay, and weak password change or reset functionality. This one guy, many of the people, what they think is, hey buddy, I'm developing this particular application. I have a login page. I implemented hundreds of features on the login page, 100% security. What about forgot password? Okay,
Mm.
so how it really happens is one of the scenario. Let me tell you, right? So again, I'll talk about this book called pharmaceutical company, and they have a tie-up with institutions, right, in the US, medical
Mm.
institutions in the US. So one of the
Okay.
feature was, if a person forgot his password,
Mm.
then you can click on this forgot password. You can give really tough security questions. Then they
Mm.
said, no, you will get a email on your registered email. You will
Okay.
get a reset link on your registered email. The problem is you can
Mm.
change the registered email.
Okay.
So instead of Pallavi at the gmail.com, I can say give none at the outlook.com, and I'm
Uh,
getting the reset link. Now tell me, is it a right way of doing?
no.
So you need to check this as well.
Okay.
Sometimes you have a reset functionality, or weak change password is again weak questions, or they are not asking any questions. Sometimes what happens is they will
Mm.
ask questions. Just wait for few minutes. Then don't submit any answers. Just press on submit. Sometimes it will
Mm.
reset.
Okay.
So those kind of things.
Okay.
Now, testing for weak authentication in alternative channels. This is something like we have discussed about OAuth, isn't it?
Huh.
Okay, and this is something like hey buddy, this is interesting thing, right? Now you have your website, say Amazon.com, simple website.
Okay.
Okay, Amazon.com is a big company. They implement a lot of security on the application. Their
Mm,
application is super secure. Okay,
mm,
that is fine. Application, again, Amazon do have a web app, right, for Android.
mm.
Can they implement the same level of security on the web app?
No, it's different, no?
Yeah, it's
No.
different because the reason is web apps have to be lighter because they have to run on high-end phones as well as on low-end phones as well, isn't it?
Oh,
So
huh.
what happens is, even though if you maintain a high level of security on your main application, what about mobile app? What about your APIs? Are you maintaining this kind of security on those things? If no, then fine. Sometimes just try to change the password on your Amazon.com, then go to your Amazon app on your mobile phone and change the password and see the behavior. Are you able to access, use both the passwords? Okay, no, a person in China, he has hacked your password. You came to know, hey buddy, someone has hacked my password, they have ordered something on my name. So you go and you delete the order, then you change the password on your say laptop, like no web browser.
Okay.
So if the password is not reflected, if the password is not the same, on your mobile app, still the password is already saved on your mobile app. So the person will be logging in with the old password,
Mm.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is nothing but alternative channel, like your mobile application or API kind of things.
Okay.
So this is about authentication. So we will conclude here and just give a read about this particular 4.4 to
Mm,
4.10 is damn easy. It's very easy, straightforward, and
mm,
it's not a high fun technical stuff. And
mm,
go to this particular website, log in, go
mm.
here, and we do have broken authentication access management. Yeah,
Okay.
just do these 10 things.
Okay.
Okay, forgot
Ah,
functionality. Okay, and just do these 10 things,
ah.
and I will ask Alakya to share one of my document with you, so wherein
Okay.
I have done all these things.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
as your reference, how to
Ah,
I have written, not me as a kind of person has written some information, what
ah.
exactly is this and how you can do kind of testing for each and every vulnerability.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
then. Yeah.
Chalo Pallavi, anything else still here? Any
No,
doubts
no.
or something?
No, no. I'm clear.
Chalo, then let me stop the recording.